Hi, my name is Dobrinich, Bay Area real estate agent and certified probate and trust specialist. In this video, I'm going to be giving you the questions that you should be asking an agent before listing a property with them for your probate. So a really interesting story that is a great example of why it's so important that you work with an agent that has experience in probate, that knows what they're doing in the probate process, and can ultimately guide you through it as your true fiduciary, is a call that I received from a client. So I received this call. This person was just getting started going through the probate process and had a real estate agent that they had worked with multiple times buying and selling their own properties. And they had asked their real estate agent when they are able to sell their property. And that agent advised them that they could only sell their property after the probate process was complete. Well, that's absolutely incorrect. So it was very obvious that though this agent who has experience, who has worked with this client before, didn't actually understand the probate process. So ultimately, this agent gave that client bad advice. The client was a little bit suspect of it. They found me online, decided to give me a call to see if they could just kind of double check the information that they had received from their agent. And as I said, that information that they received was absolutely incorrect. You can sell a property during the probate process. And in fact, that's actually extremely common. So in this video, I want to be giving you the questions that you should ask an agent to make sure that you are properly vetting them for your situation, for your timeline, and make sure that you are working with somebody that can truly help guide you through this process. So the first and most obvious question is, what's your experience in probate? Now, an agent should be able to give you multiple different examples of times that they've worked through a probate process, different scenarios that they've worked in through the probate process, because each situation is truly different and depends on multiple factors. This is everything from the court requirements of the county to the way that the estate is set up, how it was handled. Is there a will? Is there not a will? So there are a lot of different factors that go into your particular situation, and it's very important that you're working with somebody that can help navigate that and has experience doing it. Now, one way that you can vet this is actually the second question that you should be asking is, can you explain the overbid process? Now, the overbid process is going to be dictated based on whether you have full authority or limited authority. And limited authority is where the court is actually going to help facilitate the sale of that property, and that's where the overbid process comes into. So if an agent can't explain that overbid process for your county, that should be a red flag for you. But this question absolutely has to be on your list when you are vetting a real estate agent for the sale of a probate property. The next question you should be asking is, what is your property preparation process or methodology specifically for probate? Every real estate agent is going to have a property preparation process for any listing that they would do, but the property preparation process is a little bit different and a little bit unique when it comes to selling a property in probate. And you want to be working with an agent that has a system in place to help make this declutterment and preparation process very easy and very methodic, because if they do not have this, the process will be longer and more difficult, and that is something that you will absolutely want to avoid, because there are a lot of moving parts and a lot of moving pieces when it comes to selling a property in probate, and getting that property ready, getting the items in the property handled correctly and easily is something that you will definitely want to be on the lookout for. Now, the fourth question that you should be asking an agent during the interview process is, what type of vendors are they able to refer you to throughout the process to help facilitate various aspects of this probate. This is very important because there are some vendors that are used during a probate sale, such as an estate liquidator, that you would want to have vetted, that have been used before, and an agent that has those resources that they've worked with before, that are going to take good care of you, going to take good care of the personal belongings and personal items of the estate, is very, very important. And so make sure that the agent that you're working with has relationships with these specific types of vendors that are used during a probate sale. The next question that you should ask is, what type of marketing strategies will you deploy to sell this property for this particular situation? There are various different strategies that can be deployed. This is everything from the type of photography, videography, aerial drone footage. Are they going to be setting up a website for your property? What type of digital marketing and advertising strategies are they going to leverage? How are they going to be engaging with the community and other agents to help get as much visibility onto this property as possible? Along with, are they able to actually leverage their network to sell the property off market if that might be the best strategy for your particular situation? So there are a lot of different things that you will want to cover with your agent when it comes to the marketing strategy that they're going to deploy for the sale of that particular property. All right, so the sixth question that I would have on my list for your agent when you are interviewing them is, how are you going to work with my attorney throughout this process? What is your process for communication? How often do you communicate? Also, do you have any attorneys that you can refer to me? That's a great way to vet an agent as to whether or not they've done probate sales before, is if they have attorneys that they've routinely worked with that they could refer to you, that you can then interview to see if they are the right fit for your situation. But you will absolutely want to know how this agent works with the other parties involved within your probate sale, and make sure that it aligns with what your expectations are. And referencing that story that I told you earlier on, ask the agent when you can actually sell a property. Again, a great way to make sure that that agent knows the probate process, understands it, and can give you the correct and the right advice. Because as I mentioned, you absolutely can sell a property during the probate process. In fact, that's the most common. And so make sure that you go ahead and ask that qualifying question to the agent. Again, it'll just kind of help give you an idea of their experience level, might raise a red flag if you don't like the answer. So these are the questions that I would be asking an agent if I were interviewing them for the sale of my property during a probate process. One additional thing that I do want to call out, which is not a question necessarily for the agent, but is something that you should keep on your radar as you are vetting agents, as you're beginning to go through this process, is just ask yourself, how comfortable do you feel working with this person? How comfortable do you feel with the attorney? How comfortable do you feel with the real estate agent? How comfortable do you feel with these other vendors? This is something that I have found will help guide and steer you through this process and help you to feel comfortable throughout it. Please do not hesitate to reach out if I can answer any questions for you, if you need to bounce anything off of me, if you're not exactly sure what you should do or what the next step is. Again, do not hesitate to reach out. I am here as a resource for you that you can lean on during this process.